And people will always, nobody in this earth has ever had people agree with them or love them all at the same time. It's just not possible.
Yeah. Now, because of the very wide media coverage around March and March, around you, we know a bit about you already, right? You were a radio presenter.
Yeah,
at some
I was.
point.
Yeah.
How did the transition happen between radio and then becoming the founder of March and March?
Very strange transition, but I think it was a meaningful one at the same time, because I mean, I've loved radio ever since. I was just telling you now that when I was young, but then, and I'd also come here sometimes. I was even telling you some of the DJs. I mean, I remember when Bonang was here, it was a time, you know. And from there, I've always loved radio until I got a chance to be on radio. I was in some of the radio stations in KZN. But activism has always been what I was doing, even when I was on radio. You know, my show is all about listening to people's stories. So when you listen to people's stories, you become more in touch with what people are going through, what their problems are. And, you know, with every single thing that I listen to, one of the things that I learned from one of the radio geniuses back then, who was Alex Mtian, who's still on radio even now, was that, you know, you can't leave a radio story without a solution. So that was always my thing, that when someone comes to me with a problem, you can't leave them without a solution. So I think that's where I learned a lot about, you know, if people come and they have a problem, give them a solution. And I think that's why radio and activism was a easy transition, meaningful one, but a strange one, as some people think as well.
But it makes sense the way you explain it now. It makes sense. I mean, radio is about people.
Absolutely.
And you're doing the same thing in a different capacity.
Absolutely.
Now, over the past year, it seems like activism has changed your life dramatically. In your view, what was the main intention behind creating March and March?
Look, you know, when I started March and March, to be honest, I didn't know that there'd be so many negatives about it. Because, I mean, you sit there, you're like, oh my God, people are going through all these problems. Illegal immigration is so terrible. You know, I mean, it's illegal immigration. But then you get into it and you start realizing, okay, you know, there's people who actually defend this, you know, who find ways of making it something that it's not, who will push propaganda. It becomes more political. I've come to realize that activism, it seems like activism in South Africa is not separate from politics for some way and somehow. So you find yourself in that mix, and, you know, you just have to swim with the wave, because at the end of the day, I didn't start this because I was bored. I think being on radio is active enough. There's a lot to do. But, you know, when something has to be done, it's something, as I always say, you know, it was consistent in my dreams, with children being taken out of the country through containers, etc., etc. And it was happening all the time. And a lot of people are not noticing some of the trends of things that were happening that have kind of died down, haven't stopped, but they've kind of like decreased. And it's not because we want them to decrease. We want them to end completely. Yeah.
We were just saying earlier on that you just flew in now from Durban. There was a march in Durban.
Yeah. Yesterday. It was actually a picket where we wanted the SADC countries, since they were gathered outside of the ICC in Durban, to really listen to what we have to say. You know, it doesn't make sense to go there and talk about deals that make you guys happy as people, but the people are still left in poverty in different situations. And, you know, the governments or the presidents of those respective countries, some of them are doing fine, you know, they're okay, and those are the same people that don't give us a problem. But with the countries that are struggling in the SADC region, those are the ones that give us an absolute headache. And the worst part is there's a certain level of entitlement about South Africa that they don't have about their own countries, which always amazes me, that you spend so much time focusing on South Africa, what South Africans are doing. But when your president is here, your own president and your own government that should be accounting to you, that you have a responsibility of drawing them back to what the people want, you go mute, you go quiet, you're not brave. The only bravery people who are not South African have, that are in South Africa, is to attack the South African government. It's a model that I find to be absolutely crazy. I mean, you have your own government. You're not South African. Whether you like it or not, if South Africans decide to go and spring outside and walk around naked, and that's not what you believe in, you can't have a say over South Africans because South Africans are in South Africa doing what South Africans want to do. So we're saying, go to your country, go to your government, and we will support you in whatever it is that you're complaining about that makes life difficult for you. But that's not what they want to do. They just want to be in South Africa.
When we come back, I want to clarify what March and March is all about, because I think, again, with all of the media coverage that March and March has received, that you've received, I feel like maybe the message behind, number one, why it was created in the first place, and number two, what the purpose of March and March is, has kind of gotten lost in all of the opinion pieces. So let's talk about that and more when we come back. Also, Jacinta is here. If you've got any questions that you would like to ask her, you're more than welcome. Send a voice note on the Y app and let us know what that question is.
Sometimes the real game changers are closer than you think. Right here in South Africa, researchers are...
Yo, guys, the studio, the sound is incredible.
Oh,
So
tell me
brilliant.
where you've been. Which stations have you been?
I've been with,
No, I'm saying now the interviews. The woman.
oh no,
You're
I've
shocked
done,
by this level. Have you been at Metro?
not physically.
Oh,
Why do you, okay.
SABC.
Yeah, I've been, but not the ones here, like in the ones, because I've done TT. So even with some of the interviews that I do them in the KZN studios for their shows here. So haven't been to some of the studios like physically there. Yeah. But I don't think. Okay, never mind. I'm live, so I'll tell you guys. I'll say it later off the record. Because something did happen, and I think
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You'll be ready.
Good morning. How are you? I'm good. So you guys have headlines at 1:30?
Yes.
Okay. Sports and headlines.
Take some photos with you.
Sure. Okay. Definitely.
Why are you against Kaizer Chiefs?
I'm not.
That's the best team in the...
I'm not against Kaizer Chiefs. I'm just not Kaizer Chiefs.
That's the best team in the world.
Maybe a couple of years ago.
To this day.
According to
I think a decade ago. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I
A
think
decade
Orlando
ago.
Pirates is a better institution.
Guys, I don't know whether to end this live. Huge, massive, since a long time ago. Since the times, I'm good. Since the times of, Jerry's Kosan.
Abuchi. Oh, the legs of time, my God. You've been here.
Or Helman Kelele.
Headlines and... It's music by Tado. This one is called Guachwana. Here on Y. Kaya's on this one as well. And of course, Way Up Waking Up weekdays 5 to 9 a.m. This morning, we are so excited to have her in the studio. She is a South African radio personality, media figure, and activist. And of course, founder of March and March. Like I mentioned earlier on, Jacinta Ngobese Zuma joining us in the studio this morning. If you... And I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't understand why.
Because
Couldn't go with Chiefs.
Because Pirates is like the most amazing team ever.
there you go.
Ever.
I don't see it. I'm sorry.
It's them and Barcelona.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Chiefs fan through and through, but that's really pretty.
I understand. You probably like the vibe because that's the only thing Chiefs said. They love winning. We love good football. That's why I love Orlando Pirates. There were times where there was a year where we lost the league. And my heart shattered, because we deserved that. I remember that game, there was like literally the TV was split into two. Kaizer Chiefs was playing, we were playing. Yeah. And then the league title had to be decided by that last game of the season. And we lost it. But I mean, I was still very much proud because the kind of football that Orlando Pirates plays, Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
watched
love
them.
that. Yeah.
Okay, just one curious question. How do you feel about the team's chances this season of maybe doing the same, if not better than last time?
I think we've lost a lot of players who've obviously left the team for better opportunities. So we're basically rebuilding. But I do trust that the team has enough in them to fight through. I mean, last season when we started, we lost the first 2 games, and a lot of people gave up on us. But we had a new coach at that after we thought we've got the cream of the crop coach, and he left. So I do believe in the boys. I think they'll always find their way and build and rebuild. We've got our new Relebogile also doing. So I trust the Pirates.
Okay.
Locked in.
Okay, locked in.
Yeah, this is real high focus. The season is long. We're only on match day 3. And as mentioned earlier, Sundowns are the only teams that will be playing in the league this week because the rest of the Betway Premiership sides will be taking part in the action from next Tuesday because it is an MTN 8 weekend. But we're going to move on now to a bit of rugby, where Rassi Rasmus has fired.
Yeah. I don't watch the think pieces where people say good things about me. I don't watch the think pieces where people say bad things about me, because either one can be a distraction.
Yeah.
Because if you spend too much time listening to people who love you, you don't even see where your mistakes are. And if you spend too much time listening to people who hate you, then you also don't get an opportunity to listen to those that love you, that actually want the best for you. So you have to kind of try and balance. Like, I watch some of them, like, shortly I pass. I don't like delve into them or live in them. You know, you see negativity, but negativity only thrives when you absolve it and you absorb it.
This is Ngobese,
Oh, boy.
our leadership. Shout out to the great work that you do, and we understand as South Africans that this is not xenophobia. This is us, like what you just mentioned. If we decide to go on a naked run, this is us. Don't tell us what to do. But anyway, what's going on between you, Pagalum Tagati, and Ngizwe? So you are there today. Please just clarify what's going on, because we are hearing a lot of this on social media.
Yeah.
So what's the word? Are you guys okay? Are you guys gonna put much together, or
Not the leader,
You guys are crazy.
he was one
what's
of the
going on?
people.
What's the juice, my
I
sister?
can't describe him, yes, the Zuma.
But he dresses in traditional
Yes,
Zulu
yes.
attire, and he's got a similar kind of mandate as Martin March.
Yo, what's up,
I'm not
boys?
really familiar with him.
With Ngizwe.
Yeah, my question is actually, you know, this level of entitlement with the illegal foreigners, you know, and we don't have a problem with foreigners. It's not a xenophobic attack or anything like that. We just have a problem with illegal foreigners, you know. But my question is, what are you doing as the March and March to remove the entitlement? Because they feel so entitled, and I think our government also gives them that, you know, authority to feel entitled. So as a March and March, what are you guys doing to remove that entitlement?
I love that people have so much faith in us.
Hey, you guys, what are you doing?
Nyanzani.
You must remove the entitlement. Imagine removing the
Nyanzani.
entitlement.
And I think it's a group project, right? Like we all have to get involved.
I think that's another thing that people don't understand. We're not a political party. You know, they align us with, you know, they're like, you can't be aligning with left political party, right wings, left wings. Guys, we're not there for the right and left wings. We're there to get the job done. You know, you are political parties. You can wrestle with each other in the mud. See, as long as we get the job done, the job must be done.
And check how many foreigners are there, because like in South Africa we have doctors, we have nurses, etc., etc. But isn't it okay, like, to go, let's say for example, in your hospital where you can find like there's 500 foreigners, 500 South African, to say no, can we retrench here? Let's make 700 South African, 200.
This is what's the point?
So that
What's the point?
Because
Of doing this.
Oh,
Of March
they
and
want
March.
like employ.
I'll explain. No, it's a good
It changes
question.
nothing.
It's a good question. It's okay.
And there is that also, the
Yeah.
counter, like the people who have gone, has it resulted in the expected result?
What
that you
results?
wanted? Or is it
Okay,
because
we've
it's not
had
the,
we've had
employment?
one political party for the past 32 years now.
32 years, yeah.
In the past 32 years, what did that political party achieve in its first couple of months in existence? And they're a political party, mind you. They're in governments. we're not in government. We're just a movement, you know. And I feel like that's where the lines get twisted a bit. When people see us, they think we're there to, like, we get paid. We're like gunning for votes or something like that. We're just basically trying to get South Africans to be more active in their own country, to be more aware of what's happening, to spend less time talking about who was wearing what at the Durban July and actually realize that there's a crisis in the country. We're not saying don't talk about the Durban July, but we're saying that can't be the only content that you're consuming. Well, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching.
Again, it's just a reminder that we all have to be part of it. Like,
we all, exactly.
Moving towards one thing, and then the rest are kind of just like reaping the benefits of whatever come out of that. Right.
No, or waiting to reap them.
Exactly. Let's go to traffic, and then we'll go back. It's music by Musa Keys. This one is called When I Hear on Why. Jacinta, Ngobese, Zuma joining us in the studio this morning. Questions, send them through on the Y app. We're going to continue the chat in the next week. For now, let's head on over to your traffic. Get a last look at that.
8:41. Let's see what's happening on the streets. I'll start off in Deep Kloof on the N1 northbound. I see slow-moving traffic on the link to the N12 east at Deep Kloof interchange. As via N1 southbound, there's time spawning stationary vehicle there at Rigel Avenue. Some slow-moving traffic towards Allendale Road, Upper Immigrant on the N1 northbound. I see a crash right before Edenvale Road, exit Upper Bedford View, so please approach cautiously over there. Some roadworks and restrictions towards Smith Street at Bramfontein on the M1. And then moving back to Santa now, some slow-moving traffic towards Grayston Drive. And then finally, I'll end off down there on Pretoria N4. I see some roadworks and restrictions there at Donkerhoek and Cullinan exit. Now, if you're looking for instant traffic updates, be sure to follow us at Right From Traffic. For White Traffic, it's Wasabi.
All right, so like I mentioned earlier on, I think clarifying what March and March is all about is super important, right? Because again, lots of media coverage, which means that there's a lot of think pieces on social media. Everyone's got something to say. And so we lose the reason why March and March exists to begin with. So Jacinta, let's clarify. March and March, is it a political party? Is it a movement?
March and March is a movement, not a political party, not going to be a political party.
Okay. Is March and March against all foreign nationals?
March and March is against undocumented illegal immigrants in the country and foreigners who are carrying out documents but have attained them fraudulently so, and who are breaking the laws of the country.
Okay. Does March and March decide which race they go after or which race they choose to focus on, or is it all undocumented foreign nationals?
March and March is focused solely on putting South Africans first and making sure that anyone who's in the country legally is out of the country. And it starts with our own communities. And those who are in the white communities, if they do know of illegal immigrants that they wish for us to remove, they must let us know. But until now, we're still waiting. Nobody has come to give us names of white illegal immigrants that they know.
Okay. And then last question is March and March xenophobic?
I think after 32 years, we can't wake up one morning and decide we're xenophobic when millions and millions of people who are not South African are living in the country. Surely that decision should have been made when we were born. The same way racism is taught when you grow up. By the age of 10, you already know that you're a racist. 10 is even old. So we can't be xenophobic in our old age after living with people so many years. People must self-introspect and find out exactly why South Africans are saying they're tired of you being in their country legally, and what are you doing in their country that makes South Africans fed up of you. You can't be scapegoating us by saying we're scapegoating migrants.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
How do you feel about the outliers, in the sense of there's this message that you are trying to push and trying to lead with, but obviously you can't control everyone who's identifies with the movement. There might be outliers who might take things too extreme, and who might actually fuel all the fear.
True.
But I know it might not be your intention. So how do you feel about that?
Very good question. So it's always in our wording. That's the best that we can do, because there's other movements. I say this all the time. March and March is not the only movement that's out there. There's plenty of other civic movements who are on the ground even today, making sure that they remove illegal immigrants. We can only be held responsible for the things that we say and the things that we do. We can't be held responsible for all the actions that are happening out there. That would be like saying that government is responsible for everyone who goes out there and has unprotected sex. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if their messaging is saying, here are condoms, use them to protect yourself, and people don't do that, we can't say it's government's fault that people are not using it at the end of the day. So I don't understand why people always want to pin us against something that we don't represent. They always say, oh, you've always said, even people who are documented, undocumented, I still stand today. Show us a video, show me a video where I have said that people, whether they're documented or undocumented, must leave the country. And I will retract that statement. I'm waiting. Nobody until now has given me that video.
For that video.
And nobody has given me that video until now. You know, show me a video where I have incited violence and said people must be killed or hurt or harmed. I am consistent in my messaging that when we say go back to your country and fix it, it's because we want an Africa that works for all of us. Africa is one of the continents that, not even one, the continent with the richest continent, with the most minerals. But because of our leaders who are there in their positions until they're 91 years old, who are behaving like dictators, who instill fear in their people, and their people retaliate and retreat and then run to other countries as a solution, that's why we find ourselves here. We can't make running away to other people's countries a solution for every time we have a problem with our own government. Because I'm telling you today that the same way they're running to other countries and we are retreating now is the same way we're going to be running to other people's countries, because we're retreating against our own government. We must never retreat if we're unhappy with something that our government is doing. We must always let them know, hold them accountable. It's their problem that they left the borders open. And the minute we start saying, oh, the borders are open, if I say anything I'm xenophobic, let me move to another country. What happens afterwards? We start becoming the very same people that we have a problem with in our own country. And we can't have that. We have a history in this country. People died for this country. I say this all the time. They didn't die so that we must be tourists in other countries because our country is falling apart. They didn't die so that we can sit for hours and grannies are dying in hospitals because they're not getting access. They didn't die so that people don't have access to schools and they're flocking into areas where they want to create economic opportunities for themselves because their countries are failing them. The same way our struggle heroes died for us is the same way they must be their own struggle heroes in their own country and die for their country. You can't be running away from Nangwanga or Tinibu or whoever you're running away from and come to South Africa and we become a solution to your problem in your country. If that's the solution, trust me, every single person who's got a problem in their country is going to come to South Africa.
I think that also what gets me about the situation is that border control is not just a South African thing.
Yeah.
There's countries all over the world whose borders are protected to make sure that whoever is coming into the country is someone that we know, we can trace, we know where you're coming from, and we know why you are here. So it is quite interesting that people say because we are asking those questions, we are xenophobic.
Trust me, you know, with you guys interviewing, like asking basic questions and not interrogating me, going the vicious, interrogating route. They will say you are favoring what we're doing. Because trust and believe me, in the minds of people who've made up their minds that they don't want illegal immigrants or people who are in the country illegally to leave because they are victims of their own country, anything that you say is wrong. But when you ask them practical things, they'll tell you, for example, the Eastern Cape is apparently closing down certain schools. Oh, wow. Because people are migrating from the Eastern Cape to come to other places where there's economic opportunities. They're not closing them down because we said illegal immigrants, foreigners are in schools. So it means that where the people in the Eastern Cape are relocating to, those schools are congested. On top of the congestion, there's other people now coming in from their own countries, bringing their own children to get this free education. We have about 250,000+ foreign children in our schools currently. Some of them are undocumented. And that is what we're saying, that all these opportunities that you are giving, when those schools are closing, Why don't you centralize those places and create schools that have swimming pools, that have tennis courts, that have things like robotics and other things that South African children can benefit from, instead of trying to create schools for more and more people to come in from outside? It doesn't make sense.
All right, we're going to continue the chat with Jacinta in the next couple of moments. Again, the way up is all about respect. It's not about,
definitely,
creating, what is it called on the clickbait?
Yeah,
clickbait.
clickbait,
Moments,
yeah.
100%. If you've got voice notes, send them through. We're going to be taking those very soon and just seeing what Jacinta has to say to your questions.
Why has made a promise to comply with its license conditions? If you think it doesn't,
Okay, are there voice notes you're okay with and voice notes you're not okay with?
Who, me? No. Anything
you don't
goes.
mind any voice notes.
Guys, I do interviews with people who, like I said, just want to prove a point about how xenophobic I am. So I don't believe in suppressing even voices of people that don't agree with me. I think those are the ones that are more important. So go ahead.
Here's the question: why is March and March not against Indians? I see one of it.
Why is March and March? Are Indians
Not
illegal
against-
immigrants? Guys, how many times must we explain immigration? Our issue is immigration. It's not race. We're not going around looking at skin color. Are you orange? Are you pink? Are you green?
We only want blacks, man.
Oh,
What are we
Jesus.
saying?
And it makes no sense, guys.
Because we're always
Good
questioning.
morning. Hopefully right lapha YFM. I just have 2 questions, guys. Ngiyazicelela nje bandla insizwa yami yabona. My sister ngiyamuzwa athi much remove only illegal immigrants yabo, but ukazi lo konjubana ngimazi igama lakhe nje, and I don't even need to even know it nje angazi ubani, but yeah, he was going telling around everyone that's a foreign national and specifically black that they must go, documented or not. He was not saying undocumented foreign nationals must go. He said if you are not from this country you must go, specifically to blacks.
I was just about to say that. It's fine, let's answer.
So that's very contradictory, guys. Like, movement, you're right, yeah, but
But you see, the problem is if Spikiri, for example, wants to come and march with March and March, how do we say no, Spikiri, don't march?
Stop marching, Spikiri.
Like how? Does that even make sense? Because any personality is welcome to come and march with us. Anyone is welcome to march with us. We can't say, oh, now we're going to start scanning people to say, oh, you are this. We can't do that. We can't.
100%. If you are South African and you
want to march, you must march. You can be anyone from everywhere.
No, you said you had 2 questions, remember?
Oh, what's the second one?
That's enough.
We've got more. Whichever voice note is gonna come through, ngiyazicelela futhi bandla. Mina I support high level because of the main reason I support it, because I feel like it's gonna leave us in an open area whereby so going to talk this guys in Europe. I have a friend that's a trucker. He can travel from Italy to Austria. No stamping of passport, no immigration, no nothing. Then when I say people, then they decide today, my sister, so.
But why must Europe be a benchmark? We are not Europe. We have not reached European standards. We don't have European border control. We don't have European economy. We don't have European people. We have black African people. We've got our own cultures, our traditions that we still want to preserve for ourselves without just opening the floodgates.
Are we going in?
First of all, okay, I don't know. I think they'll account for themselves. But here's one of the things I want to talk about. First of all, you can't say, uhage a white person, therefore it makes it wrong. That person was a journalist from outside of South Africa. They came to do journalism, then leave. It's not the same thing. people see, I don't know what this thing is. I know we have a history with white people. I know what's majority of them probably will never even like us. But at the end of the day, we are in a country that embraces a rainbow nation. It was not our choice. It was the people that came before us that decided we have a rainbow nation. That's why you take them to the same schools, you integrate, whatever you want to do. So I'm saying, Uguti, we cannot be now held accountable for skin color when we're talking about immigration. Immigration must remain about immigration. And skin color must be a skin color. When we're talking about race issues, we must be able to sit down with white people and say, hey, Nyapeta, here and here and here and here. But when we're talking about immigration, we can't be talking to South Africans and saying, immigration, you are white, you must go. It's not the same thing. It's not. It's not. Because if we do that, then we'll end up deflecting issues. This mixer isn't you know, when we talk about immigration, guys, let's stick to immigration. That's what we're talking about. Immigration, illegal immigration, undocumented illegal people in the country. Simple.
Okay. That clarifies it.
Sorry to paint devil again, but yeah, another question that I wanted to hear your answer on.
Passports is absolutely not true. We've traveled to Europe. Border to border, you get your passport stamped. But second to that, we can't be putting European standards in a country that's not Europe. We don't have a Europe economy. Other African countries don't have a Europe economy. Now, they're all moving south. Everyone is coming downwards. And you want us to practice European standards where Spain is doing well, France is doing well in their own respective ways. So, which is exactly our messaging. Other African countries need to do well for themselves so that we can be good neighbors. So that people who are coming into the country are documented. We know who they are. We know what they're doing in the country, how long they're going to be staying, and when they're going to be going back. We are trading goods. That's why the truck is going in and out. It's not about the person who's driving the truck. It's about the goods that the person who's carrying with the truck. If that person decides he wants to live in Europe, he's not just going to live in Europe. He still has to follow a process. So people must stop conflicting issues. I still say, when you talk about Europe, Europe has standards that are adapted in Europe because Europe is an economy that is European. South Africans are struggling right now. Our South Africans have the youngest economy. We can't be now made to house everyone just because we're trying to keep up with European standards.
I'm so sorry to cut
It's okay, it's okay.
Jacinta, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been incredible having you on the show this morning.
Thank you so
for
much,
being
guys.
as open, as passionate, as honest, transparent as you have been this
Thank
morning.
you.
We do appreciate it. If you'd like to read
And happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month! Yay! If you'd like to read